this video, I am in Rome, Italy, and this is at the Basilica of Santa Maria in Cosmedin. You may recognize this picture being shown. It is called the Mouth of Truth, and it is famous for its medieval legend of being an ancient lie detector. And you may have seen it in the film Roman Holiday.
The legend is that if you're given to lying, you put your hand in there, it'll be bitten off.
Oh, what a hard idea.
A horrid idea indeed. And so people line up in a long queue just to take a picture with this once temple feature, drain or sewer cover. Then they walk through the church just to get to the exit. But what is held inside of the church that is often overlooked is such an amazing relic. And it is Saint Valentine's skull. In a video last year, I talked about Saint Valentine's relics in Ireland, and a bit about who Saint Valentine was. Please watch that video after this one if you would like to learn more about that. Saint Valentine's skull isn't alone in the reliquary, but the reliquary is shared with bones from Saint Clement, Saint Maxima, Saint Floridus and Saint Placidus. The palm on top of the reliquary symbolizes victory over death. And on the bottom, there are 4 lion paws. Trying to find out anything about Saint Valentine can be quite a struggle, as there were actually 3 saints by the name of Valentine that were martyred on the 14th of February. But this skull does belong to the Roman priest who was martyred around 268 to 270 AD. And the reliquary was made out of gilded wood, and it was created in 1795. Saint Valentine was originally buried in a catacomb on the Via Flaminia, where a basilica was later built. However, his skull was likely moved to Santa Maria in Cosmedin between the 13th and 14th centuries, as the original site fell into despair and abandonment. The skull was held in the church's sacristy by 1750. It was in the 1800s when it was shown to the public. Saint Valentine's name is chrysographed onto the forehead. The monks probably wanted to do this to ensure that it would not get mixed up with any other saints if it was moved. And there was a flower crown made and put on top. The crown of martyrdom. The flowers also remind me of Valentine's Day, as many give flowers to their loved ones. The flowers have been there for a long while. They are artificial, most likely made out of paper and satin, and then dipped in a wax. A 3D designer in 2017 used digital imaging to perform a forensic facial reconstruction of the skull, to try and see what Saint Valentine really looked like. I heard somebody say how a pagan festival, Lupercalia, is the original Valentine's Day. I would just like to correct their wrong wording. Saint Valentine's Day is not the continuation of a pagan festival, Lupercalia. It is the official feast day of the 3rd century martyr. Saint Valentine was executed on February the 14th. The holiday is rooted in the courage of Saint Valentine, who defied Emperor Claudius II after the emperor banned marriage. Claudius believed that soldiers would be more willing to die in battle if they were not attached to wives or families, essentially trying to force them into singleness for his own control. When Valentine was a priest who voluntarily chose not to marry, so he could dedicate his entire life to serving God and the community, he believed that everyone had the right to marriage, and no government could take that away. He risked his life to perform secret weddings, so that couples could get married and live their lives together in holy matrimony. He was eventually martyred in 270, which was centuries after Lupercalia. Claiming the pagan festival as the origin of Valentine's Day is like saying that a party 500 years ago is the origin of your birthday because it's on the same date. We celebrate love on the 14th to honor the day he gave his life for this cause, and we even carry out the legacy through the tradition of Valentine's cards, inspired by his final letter he signed from your Valentine before his death. Moving on to the church that the skull is in, the Basilica of Santa Maria in Cosmedin. It is built over the Era Maxima, the great altar of Hercules. The site was Rome's ancient cattle market, and it was given to some Greek monks in the 8th century by Pope Adrian, after they fled from persecution in the Byzantine Empire. The monks even built a church using recycled columns scavenged from nearby ancient ruins. And to protect martyrs' relics from invaders looting the suburban catacombs, the Pope moved the bones into a crypt carved directly into the massive blocks of the Hercules altar, like Christianity conquering paganism. And if you visit this church, you will find a stairs that leads down to the basement where you can see this.